I thought I would do a short video. I feel like absolute crap right now. I have a cold. Um, and show you like how I take off my nail polish. So first I take some kind of oil, and this one has this in it, and it also has jojoba oil. Sorry, my computer's updating my camera right now. I'm hoping it's still recording this. It says it is, but anyway. So first I take this oil. Any oil will do. And I put it right here. And I have a scratch right there. It's like just a little bit, a drop or whatever. And then I take and I go like this and I put it underneath. Because I don't really want my nail absorbing the remover. And this seems to help quite a bit with that. And I do this every time I take off my nail polish. Unless for some reason I forget. So you can see how I have this oil under here now. Okay, and then I have my Color Street remover. And I took these, they're like cotton rounds, and I just rip them in half. And I have these clips that I think I got at the dollar store. Possibly not though. I mean, I might have gotten them at like Walmart. I don't know. They're not branded, so I don't know. And then I just leave this on for like 2 minutes. My computer, I use this Logitech camera, but it's like Logitech G Hub. And it was like removing old version and then updating and all that stuff. Now it says upgrading. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, that burns. I was hoping I got enough oil in that cut, but apparently not. See my cut right there? And this one, so I feel like when I use just jojoba oil on my nails, I don't get as much moisture. I know that that's the smallest molecule and it goes into your skin and nails so that it can actually absorb it, but I feel like this one has argan, jojoba, sweet almond, sunflower extract, cottonseed oil, honey, vitamin E, biotin. So I feel like the argan and the sweet almond oil stay kind of more on the outside of your skin, and that causes this part to be more moisturized instead of it just sinking in, and then you don't have anything blocking. It acts more as like an emulsifier, right? Like wax, because it doesn't allow the moisture to escape from your fingers. I hope that makes sense. Whereas I feel like argan oil by itself is good for moisture, but it doesn't emulsify. It doesn't hold the moisture in. It just delivers the moisture. And for where I live, it's like extremely dry, especially in the wintertime. And I get like cracking right here. So I feel like I need something with something else in it, like wax or petroleum jelly or whatever. Not that I really want to put that on my skin, but it beats cracking and bleeding. So, and then I just have this on here, and I'm kind of like rubbing it a little bit. One of the older sets I have on, the Encoco, I feel like that one had more, it was tougher to get off. Took a little bit more work. I usually set a timer for 2 minutes, but I didn't this time. And then if it doesn't come off when I do this, see, that one did, but if I still had like, if I had 2 layers on or whatever, I would have just flipped it over like that and put it back on for like another minute. Sorry, I think I told you guys I had a cold. Like, I feel so crappy. I feel like I shouldn't drive. Last weekend was my drop, and I did take the envelopes to my mailbox around the corner, but I didn't do packages unless they fit through the little slot because I'd have to drive like 2 miles or something. And I don't feel like I'm safe to drive. And I've learned my lesson. Like you guys, I wrecked my car before when I drove when I was too tired. Not like a serious wreck, but when I was in college, I was parking my car and I was really, really tired. I think I was coming down with something. And as I was parking, I knew that I was going to hit the car if I didn't like stop and back up. And I thought to myself, oh, it's okay. I'll just hit that car a little bit. It'll be fine. That was my thought process. And I was like, okay, obviously I should have listened to my mother and I should not have come to school today because that is really not a thought that should ever be going to my head, that I'll just hit the car a little bit. And we didn't have to turn it into insurance. I remember the guy, I don't know if they didn't have insurance or what, but he was like, okay, well, it's going to cost this much to fix. If you pay half of that, I'm good. And I don't think he ever did fix it because he had worse scratches on his car. I think I had to pay him like $200 or something. I mean, it was like a scratch. Like I ruined his paint in that spot, but he had other scratches that was not from my vehicle on his car. So when I'm done, I just take one and I go over it one more time to make sure I got it all off. And then I go wash my hands. Sometimes I will put more oil on. Yesterday I soaked my hands in this oil with gloves. So they got a good dose. I was trying to do that like twice a week, but I haven't been doing it in the summer. So I take my nail and I kind of like push it in the crease right here to get that off. Do you guys, can you see this right here? Am I in the, there's like peeling. I don't know if you can, it's gonna focus on my nail. Do you see the peeling right there at the very end? I will file that. Because if you have that peeling, let's see if I have it anywhere else. I think this is the worst one. Not sure. There. Can you see it? Right there? Um, if you have that and you don't file it off or remove it or whatever, and then you put your strip on over the top, your strip is likely to chip. So for whatever that's worth. This is like a pumice, like a really, really fine one. And you can use something like this, or you can use cuticle remover. There's several different brands. But what you do is you take this and you just gently rub it where, can you see that right there? There's like skin. Okay, let me see if I can get it to focus. Do you see the skin right there that's on my nail, but it's not my cuticle? You don't want to leave that there. You want to get it off. So a really good time to push your cuticles back is after you have something soaking on them, like the remover, or see my lovely paper cut, or after an oil soak, or after a shower, or a bath. I guess if you put your fingers in the bath water. I don't put my hands in the bath water. So do you see this skin right here? I just remove that. I'm not sure if it's focusing or not. And you want to be careful. If you push too hard, you can gouge your actual nail, which is not what you're going for. You're just trying to take off the skin, which is your cuticle, I think. This is your proximal nail fold up here. We're not removing that, right? I feel like this is really thick on me. It's really bad on my toes. And I have to apply the chemical remover several times on my toes and let it sit a lot longer than they say to. Like they say like 15 seconds and I do like a minute. I don't like using this on my toes because it's really awkward to do that. I feel like this takes a really long time, but I feel like it gets it cleaner than the chemical remover. I feel like the chemical remover doesn't always get it off, especially on my thumb and my pointer. I don't know why, but those ones just seem to be a lot worse than anything else. Remember, you don't want to push too hard. You're just trying to rub this off, basically. And I got these on Temu, but you can find them, wherever. I don't remember what they're called right now. My door closed because I had my window open and the filter, the thing that sucks the air out to recycle it in the house, is right by my door. So it probably came on or something. It's like 60 degrees outside, so it's really, really nice out there. And the air quality is really good. Sometimes I feel like it gets pushed up and then it doesn't come off. Might be kind of gross for some people. I apologize. You don't have to watch this. But I thought I should show you guys, like, what I'm doing, right? And it just takes forever. So I won't do all of my nails like this for you guys. But so that you can see, because you want to, this white skin right here that's on my nail, if you put your strips over the top of that, then it won't adhere well to the nail and it will like chip off. So you want to make sure you get that all off. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys. I thought I left one of these. Maybe I didn't. These things right here, you probably can't see them now. They're like a kind of sort of part of the nail, but they kind of like build up on the side. And I clip that off if possible. I think I did all my other nails because it's more of like a nail texture, so it probably is part of the nail, but it builds up on the sides. Maybe it's supposed to help your nail stay stronger. I have no idea. Do you guys see this lifting right here? I take this. They don't say what they are, but it's like a 4-way, and I just kind of, it's like a really fine file, and I just kind of buff it out where it's lifting. Sometimes I'll take it off, but it's not great for your nail to do that. It's better to buff it out. Sorry, the garbage truck is right behind my house, picking up the garbage at the school. And it is also recess time, if you can hear them out there. Sometimes I also try to kind of file that down on the sides of my nail. I wonder if the kids were like, hey, we're over here, honk at us. I don't know. I feel like it's really bad on this one. So you can see it more now that I've done that. I don't feel like these have too much lifting, maybe a little bit right there. I'm not doing it hard. You guys need to make sure you're doing it soft. And this is a super fine grit. Like, it's more fine than the 320. It's like a, well, this one's a shine, so it's probably like 400 or something. I don't know. It doesn't say what it is, which is annoying. And it looks like I need to get a new one because it's starting to tear on the edge. But I want to make sure that I don't have any of that lifting. And this is like a even more fine. There's like barely anything there. So if I wanted to make it shiny, watch this. Do you see that? And then this one, look at that. Can you see it? Isn't that crazy? I think it brings the oils somehow to the surface of the nail. For shaping the nail, I use this 320 side. Sometimes I'll use this side if it's really bad, but I try to really stay 320 or higher because I don't want to take off too much. I do like a more flat look on my nails. Like more of a squoval or whatever it's called. Do you see the difference? I feel like this nail is weird because my nail bed separated from some damage probably right there. This poor nail right here, and might never be square again. So do you see how that left like a ridge? So now I need to go back with this and take that off. Now, I wouldn't ever do this with this file, but since this one is just a buffer, I will do that. Can you, I don't know if you can even see how fine that is. It's very, very fine. I'm not sure if I need to trim that a little bit more. Seems like it's really, really long. Compared to my other nails, at least. I still feel like it's a weird, I think it's because it bends down so far on that side. So this one will file off some of your nail, but it will just take a really long time. And do you see how it's white? That's from my nail. So this one is also very, very, but this is still softer than this one. But it's nothing like this. See? I don't know if you can see the grit on the camera. And then after this step, I would rinse my hands again. Or if I want to be really lazy, I'll take one of these like 100,000 alcohol things I have over here. So I think the reason why that makes it shiny is because it's filing your pores in your nail down to basically the smallest it can be, and that makes it shiny. But I could be wrong. That one's still a little weird. Let's take care of that. I feel like it's too sharp. The corners are too sharp on this nail. So sometimes I will do that on the edges. I feel like that makes my nails stronger. I'll do this even after I have nail polish on to like, I don't know, I feel like it makes this stronger. Because remember, this is not a file. This is like a, I don't know how to explain it. And this one is actually like a plastic. So see, that's still there. Do you see that? See? Which will chip. It will chip my polish, you guys. Am I even on camera? I apologize. But it's better to find out about it now than later. Right? Because you can see the shine on the end of my nails now, and I feel like that means they're sealed well. I mean, maybe I'm delusional, but right? That's how I feel. That hopefully they're sealed better. Can you see the shine on there? I'm just being lazy and using this to get off all of the little bits of my nail that come off on the file. And I do rinse these files off every once in a while just in water. Not this one, but this one. This one I will throw away. I'm not sure. This one looks like it's washable. I get these at Sally's, in case you were wondering if you have Sally's where you're at. I think they're nationwide. I'm just doing this right now. Okay, and then what I do is I feel like I've gotten all the dust off. This is mostly dry now. Is I take my base coat, whichever one I'm going to use, right? And if I was going to put my nails on immediately, I can use this, but I feel like it scratches off. So I don't love that. I don't love that it scratches off. And I do try to give at least 10 minutes before I do this, but my husband's probably going to lunch in 2 minutes, so he works from home, so on his lunch break we usually watch like a show while we eat lunch together, which I think is fabulous. Like, I love that he works from home. He has an office. I'm just careful. If I go in there to talk to him, I wait and make sure he's not talking to anyone. He's one of the few men that I've met that can multitask. I think he can multitask better than I can. And I don't mean like, you know, do a load of laundry, start the dishes, and be watching kids. I mean like he can be fixing like 14 computers at once, watching progress bars, listening to his coworkers answer a question. Like, I think that he could have been a good teacher because teachers, oh man, all they do is multitask all day long. Except that he has a hard time explaining how to do something. But I think that's because he's part of the 1% of the population that thinks in concepts instead of like pictures or whatever. That still looks really weird to me, like the shape of that nail. So this nail goes like that. It's really weird. This one is not as crooked, but it's weird because my finger curves like this. You see that? Anyway. I'm going to make you wait a few days probably for the video where I do my nails, but I'm going to be putting this on. Or some variation of this. Talk to you guys later.